This is another video, another thought on my head. It's Pixar, And I think, before Cars 2, I felt Pixar could do no wrong. Everything Pixar made, it was Toy Story 1. How do you describe Toy Story 1? A great movie. Just as innovative as Star Wars. Bugs Life. Really good in its own right, not as good as Toy Story. Toy Story 2. Keep in mind, they made Toy Story 2 1 year after Bugs Life. 1989, 1998. Better than Toy Story 1. Okay? Monsters, Inc. Really damn great as well. Finding Nemo. Classic and great. Incredibles. This Incredibles wasn't even based off a comic book, and it's one of the best superhero movies of all time. I mean, could you have imagined that a freaking PG cartoon could have been better than, a sequel to the first Spider-Man movie? I couldn't have. Then you got Cars 1, which was good, not as great as The Incredibles, but still good. Kind of had, that Bugs Life, idea in my head, just as good as Bugs Life, in my opinion. Then you had Ratatouille, totally different from The Incredibles, done by the guy who did The Incredibles, done by Brad Bird, and Brad Bird is loves his art. I mean, I love and respect Brad Bird. I love his passion, and I hope if I ever do films, I have that exact same love and passion that Brad Bird has. And then we have WALL-E, which was so different from what Pixar usually did. Most of that movie, I would say, is a silent film. It's all body language, and that's just great. Up was great. Up was another step forward. Toy Story freaking 3. Holy shit, not only Pixar's best movie to date, but I'm gonna just say it. Toy Story 3 is the greatest finale to a trilogy ever, because it was so much better than 2. Okay? You can't really say that. Like Star Wars, okay? You can say Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars, great. Empire Strikes Back, great. Return of the Jedi, just as good as the original, but not as good as Empire. And you got Indiana Jones, you got Raiders of the Lost Ark, great. Temple of Doom, great. Last Crusade, best in the series, okay? Dark Knight trilogy, Dark Knight Rises, better than, Batman Begins, great. Dark Knight, great. Dark Knight Rises, great. I'm just listing all these examples. And Toy Story 3 is the best freaking movie to date, and is, to me, the greatest. Toy Story is the greatest film trilogy of all time, because as each movie, it not only explored more, but it just got so much better. And, I would say Toy Story succeeded where Star Wars failed. Toy Story matured with its audience, It was for kids, but it was mostly for people like me. They were okay, the people who saw the first two are much older, they're going to college, or, starting out high school and shit, and, they've, loved these movies, and they matured with its audience, so I tip my hat off to Lee Unkrich. And then we get Cars 2. Now, I would not have had a problem with Cars 2 as much if, say, Cars 2 came out a little bit after Toy Story 3. But the fact that it comes out the exact same year as Toy Story 3 is what? What the fuck? Why would you do this? I'm sorry for the lag, my camera is my computer's acting stupid. Again, no surprise. No, I'm just gonna close this. Yeah. Cars 2, another thing I hate about Cars 2. The transition. Paul Newman died, of course, so Doc Hudson's he would have been so proud of you. I'm like, really? When I saw Cars 2, I'm like, and not to mention, this isn't that wasn't Lightning McQueen's story. Okay, that was fucking the comic relief. Like, fuck you then. That was such a stupid, immature move. Like, it was like such a die another day syndrome, to where, like, License to Kill, if you've seen, like, please watch my movie reviews to get what I'm talking about in full context. Like, you had License to Kill and Goldeneye, which were some of the greatest Bond movies ever. Then you got Die Another Day, which is just so stupid and so far away from what made those movies great. Okay? And Cars 2 was like such, it went into stupid kiddie shit. Like, it wasn't like what Toy Story 3 was. And plus, I think Cars 2 was a stupid sequel. When I first heard Cars 2, I'm like, really? Of all the things to make a sequel out of, you choose Cars, not Incredibles? Really? And yes, I know, Brad Bird is wondering if he's going to come back, if he's not going to come back. You know, there's all this bullshit, like, Incredibles 2 not going to happen, whatever. Anyway, but, like, for Cars 2, like, keep in mind, Toy Story 3 was nominated, I'm going to emphasize this, Toy Story 3 was not one Best Animated Movie of 2010. And it was nominated for Best Fucking Picture. Let me say that again. Toy Story 3 was nominated for Best Picture. It obviously wasn't going to win it. But just the simple fact that it was running up against The Social Network and The King's Speech is like mind-boggling, and it's amazing that the Academy recognized that Toy Story 3 is like that great of a movie. And like, I hate Cars 2 because of that. Because it, maybe it's not as bad of a movie as I make it out to be, but like, the reason I hate Cars 2 is that it just represents Pixar's slower decline in quality. And I hate that. Like, you would expect, like, after Toy Story 3, like, okay, we've made Toy Story 3. Let's see how we can, like, what can we add, what themes can we add more? Like, what other, like, what new projects can we make into a series? And what can work, you know? How can we do this right? And, like, I'm not sure I blame Lasseter, but, like, Cars 2, like, I hate Cars 2 so much because of that. Because it came out after Toy Story 3. And, like, I have my issues with Brave. Like, yes, Brave was nominated for Best Animated Movie, but once again, it didn't, like, even come close to what Toy Story 3 came to. And I'm not sure this new I mean, first of all, this whole Monsters Inc. prequel thing was fucking stupid to begin with. I hated that fucking idea, like, oh, Monsters Inc. is gonna have a prequel. I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh, it's 70, it's probably not that great. And maybe you're saying, oh, well, your expectations are too high. Lower it, you, derp, snobby, prickhead, punk faggot. Yeah. Well, you know what? I have a damn good reason for my expectations to be that high. Live long and prosper and have a nice day.